My talk is Flapping Birds and Space Telescopes, and you would think that should have nothing to do with one another, but I hope by the end of these 18 minutes you'll see a little bit of a relation. It ties through origami. So let me start. What is origami? Most people think they know what origami is. It's this: flapping birds, toys, cootie catchers, that sort of thing. And that is what origami used to be. But it's become something else. It's become an art form, a form of sculpture. The common theme, what makes it origami, is folding, is how we create the form. Now, it's very old. This is a plate from 1797. Shows these women playing with these toys. If you look close, it's this shape called a crane. Every Japanese kid learns how to fold that crane. So this art has been around for hundreds of years, and you would think something that's been around that long, so restrictive, folding only, everything that could be done has been done a long time ago. And that might have been the case, but in the 20th century, a Japanese folder named Yoshizawa came along, and he created tens of thousands of new designs, but even more importantly, he created a language, a way we could communicate, a code of dots, dashes, and arrows. Harkening back to Susan Blackmore's talk, we now have a means of transmitting information with heredity and selection, and we know where that leads. And where it has led in origami is to things like this. This is an origami figure. One sheet, no cuts, folding only, hundreds of folds. This too is origami, and this shows where we've gone in the modern world. Naturalism, detail, you can get horns, antlers, even if you look close, cloven hooves. And it raises a question: what changed? What changed is something you might not have expected in an art, which is math. That is, people applied mathematical principles to the art, to discover the underlying laws. And that leads to a very powerful tool. The secret to productivity in so many fields, and in origami, is letting dead people do your work for you. Because what you can do is take your problem and turn it into a problem that someone else has solved and use their solutions. And I want to tell you how we did that in origami. Origami revolves around crease patterns. A crease pattern shown here is the underlying blueprint for an origami figure. And you can't just draw them arbitrarily. They have to obey 4 simple laws. And they're very simple, easy to understand. The first law is 2 colorability. You can color any crease pattern with just 2 colors without ever having the same color meeting. The directions of the folds at any vertex, the number of mountain folds, the number of valley folds, always differs by 2. 2 more or 2 less, nothing else. If you look at the angles around a fold, you find that if you number the angles in a circle, all the even-numbered angles add up to a straight line. All the odd-numbered angles add up to a straight line. And if you look at how the layers stack, you'll find that no matter how you stack folds and sheets, a sheet can never penetrate a fold. So that's 4 simple laws. That's all you need in origami. All of origami comes from that. And you'd think, can 4 simple laws give rise to that kind of complexity? But indeed, the laws of quantum mechanics can be written down on a napkin, and yet they govern all of chemistry, all of life, all of history. If we obey these laws, we can do amazing things. So in origami, to obey these laws, we can take simple patterns like this repeating pattern of folds called textures, and by itself, it's nothing. But if we follow the laws of origami, we can put these patterns into another fold that itself might be something very, very simple, but when we put it together, we get something a little different. So this fish, 400 scales, again, it is one uncut square, only folding. And if you don't want to fold 400 scales, you can back off and just do a few things and add plates to the back of a turtle or toes. Or you can ramp up and go up to 50 stars on a flag with 13 stripes. And if you want to go really crazy, 1,000 scales on a rattlesnake. And this guy's on display downstairs, so take a look if you get a chance. The most powerful tools in origami have related to how we get parts of creatures. And I can put it in this simple equation. We take an idea, combine it with a square, and you get an origami figure. what matters is what we mean by those symbols. And you might say, can you really be that specific? I mean, a stag beetle, it's got 2 points for jaws, it's got antennae. Can you be that specific in the detail? And yeah, you really can. So how do we do that? Well, we break it down into a few smaller steps. So let me stretch out that equation. I start with my idea. I abstract it. What's the most abstract form? It's a stick figure. And from that stick figure, I somehow have to get to a folded shape that has a part for every bit of the subject, a flap for every leg. And then once I have that folded shape that we call the base, you can make the legs narrower, you can bend them, you can turn it into the finished shape. Now the first step, pretty easy. Take an idea, draw a stick figure. The last step is not so hard, but that middle step, going from the abstract description to the folded shape, that's hard. But that's the place where the mathematical ideas can get us over the hump. And I'm going to show you all how to do that, so you can go out of here and fold something. But we're going to start small. This base has a lot of flaps in it. We're going to learn how to make one flap. How would you make a single flap? Take a square, fold it in half, fold it in half, fold it again, till it gets long and narrow, and then we'll say the end of that. That's a flap. I could use that for a leg, an arm, anything like that. What paper went in